The history of Chinese civilization, from its origins to the present. Origins and prehistoric foundations. Before 2000 BCE, Chinese civilization is among the oldest continuous cultures in the world. Its roots stretch back to the Neolithic period, around 7000 to 5000 BCE, when the first agrarian communities emerged in the fertile valleys of the Yellow River, Huanghe, and the Yangtze River. Important early cultures included the Peiligang, Yangshao, and Longshan cultures, which practiced millet and later rice cultivation, pottery making, and developed social hierarchies. Especially during the Longshan period, circa 3000 to 1900 BCE, fortified settlements, ritual activity, and stratified societies appeared, indicating the formation of early states. Mythology associates this time with the legendary sage kings such as Fu Xi, Shen Nong, and the Yellow Emperor Huangdi, considered cultural heroes who brought writing, medicine, agriculture, and music to humankind. Though mythical, these figures reflect an early belief that civilization and moral order were divine gifts. The Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties, c. 2100 to 256 BCE. The Xia dynasty, traditionally 2070 to 1600 BCE, is regarded in Chinese historiography as the first dynasty, though archaeological evidence remains debated. Excavations at Erlitou, circa 1900 to 1500 BCE, may correspond to this early state formation phase. The existence of the Shang dynasty, circa 1600 to 1046 BCE, is well established. Centered in today's Henan province, it developed a highly organized Bronze Age civilization. Shang kings were both political rulers and religious mediators between humans and ancestors. The Shang created the earliest known form of Chinese writing on oracle bones, Jiaguwen, the direct ancestor of modern Chinese script, symbolizing an extraordinary continuity of language and culture. The Zhou dynasty, 1046 to 256 BCE, followed, lasting over 8 centuries. During the Western Zhou period, the key political concept of the mandate of heaven, Ming, emerged, the belief that a ruler's legitimacy derived from his moral virtue, and that heaven could withdraw this mandate in times of corruption or tyranny. This moral foundation for political power became a defining principle of Chinese governance for millennia. The later Eastern Zhou period, 770 to 256 BCE, saw political fragmentation, but also an unprecedented intellectual flourishing. The Spring and Autumn and Warring States eras gave rise to China's great schools of thought. Confucianism, Kongzi, Confucius, moral virtue, hierarchy, and social harmony. Daoism, Laozi, Zhuangzi, harmony with nature and spontaneous authenticity. Legalism, Han Feizi, strict laws and centralized authority. These philosophical traditions profoundly shaped Chinese identity and thought. The Qin and Han dynasties, 221 BCE to 220 CE. In 221 BCE, Qin Shi Huangdi, the first emperor, unified China after centuries of warfare. He established the first centralized imperial state, standardizing writing, currency, measurements, and building a vast road system and the first version of the Great Wall. Though his rule was harshly legalist and short-lived, it laid the institutional foundation for all subsequent Chinese empires. The succeeding Han dynasty, 206 BCE to 220 CE, represents a golden age. Confucianism was institutionalized as the state ideology, civil service examinations began to take shape, and the empire expanded westward into Central Asia. Through the Silk Road, China exchanged goods and ideas with India, Persia, and even Rome. Scientific and technological innovations flourished: papermaking, steelworking, seismographs, and advanced astronomy. The Han era also forged the enduring ethnic identity of the Han Chinese, which remains the dominant cultural group of China today. The Three Kingdoms and the Age of Division, 220 to 589 CE. After the Han collapse, China entered centuries of disunity. The Three Kingdoms Wei, Shu, and Wu contended for supremacy, an era immortalized in literature through the epic romance of the Three Kingdoms. Subsequent centuries saw further fragmentation: Jin dynasty, northern and southern dynasties. Despite political instability, culture and religion thrived. Buddhism, introduced from India, took deep root and would profoundly influence Chinese thought, blending with Taoist and Confucian traditions to form a uniquely Chinese spiritual synthesis. Reunification and cultural brilliance: Sui and Tang dynasties, 589 to 907 CE. The Sui dynasty, 589 to 618, briefly reunited China and undertook grand infrastructure projects such as the Grand Canal, linking northern and southern China. The succeeding Tang dynasty, 618 to 907, is widely seen as one of the greatest civilizations in world history. It was cosmopolitan, prosperous, and artistically vibrant. The Tang capital Chang'an, modern Xi'an, was the largest city in the world at the time, a hub of global trade and culture. Poetry reached sublime heights under Li Bai and Du Fu, while visual arts, calligraphy, and music flourished. The Silk Road linked China to the Islamic world and beyond, making Tang China a truly international empire. Buddhism reached its height, though later restricted by the state. The Song, Yuan, and Ming dynasties, 960 to 1644 CE. After another period of fragmentation, the Song dynasty, 960 to 1279, ushered in a new era of cultural and economic dynamism. Urbanization accelerated, commerce boomed, and technological innovation flourished. Paper money, gunpowder, the compass, and movable type printing all appeared. The Neo-Confucianism of Zhu Xi reinterpreted classical ethics within a metaphysical framework, dominating education and thought for centuries. In the 13th century, the Mongols under Kublai Khan conquered China and established the Yuan dynasty, 1271 to 1368. China became part of a vast Eurasian empire, facilitating contact with Europe and the Islamic world. The Venetian traveler Marco Polo visited China and described its wealth and sophistication in astonished terms. The Ming dynasty, 1368–1644, restored Chinese rule and stability. It rebuilt state institutions, expanded maritime trade, and undertook monumental architecture, notably the Forbidden City and the final form of the Great Wall. Under Admiral Zheng He, China launched massive naval expeditions reaching as far as East Africa, long before European global exploration began. Yet after his voyages, the empire turned inward, emphasizing stability over expansion. The Qing dynasty and the fall of the empire, 1644 to 1911. The Qing dynasty, founded by the Manchus from Northeast Asia, ruled from 1644 to 1911. During the 18th century, the Qing Empire reached its greatest territorial extent and population, surpassing 300 million. Qing China achieved artistic refinement and relative prosperity, but maintained a rigid social order and a cautious attitude toward innovation. From the early 19th century onward, Western imperialism profoundly destabilized China. The Opium Wars, 1839 to 1842, 1856 to 1860, forced China into unequal treaties and ceded territory. Internal uprisings, most notably the Taiping Rebellion, 1850 to 1864, devastated the country. The Boxer Rebellion, 1900, marked the last major attempt to expel foreign influence, ending with further humiliation. The weakening Qing court could not adapt to modern challenges, and by 1911 the ancient imperial system collapsed. The Republican Civil War, 1912 to 1949. The 1911 Revolution, led by Sun Yat-sen, overthrew the Qing dynasty, establishing the Republic of China. Yet the young republic soon fragmented into regions controlled by rival warlords. Two major political movements emerged in the 1922, the nationalists, Kuomintang KMT, under Chiang Kai-shek, and the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, led by Mao Zedong. After years of internal strife and the devastating Japanese invasion, 1937 to 1945, the Communists triumphed in the ensuing civil war. On the 1st of October 1949, Mao proclaimed the People's Republic of China, while the KMT retreated to Taiwan. The People's Republic of China, since 1949. The early PRC years were marked by radical social and economic transformation, land redistribution, collectivization, and nationalization. The Great Leap Forward, 1958 to 1961, sought to rapidly industrialize the country but instead caused a catastrophic famine. The Cultural Revolution, 1966 to 1976, aimed to purge old ideas, but resulted in widespread chaos, destruction of cultural heritage, and persecution of intellectuals. After Mao's death in 1976, Deng Xiaoping initiated sweeping reforms and opening up policies from 1978 onward. These introduced market mechanisms within a socialist framework, leading to unprecedented economic growth and modernization. China transformed from a primarily agrarian society into the world's manufacturing powerhouse, and later into a global technological and financial leader. Rapid urbanization, rising living standards, and a vast middle class reshaped Chinese society, though political power remained firmly centralized in the Communist Party. In the 21st century, under Xi Jinping, China has emphasized national rejuvenation and global influence, symbolized by the Belt and Road Initiative. Yet challenges persist: demographic decline, social inequality, environmental degradation, and growing geopolitical tensions. Continuity and transformation. What sets Chinese civilization apart is its extraordinary continuity. Despite invasions, dynastic collapses, revolutions, and ideological upheavals, its core cultural framework has endured. The Chinese written language, family structure, reverence for learning, and moral philosophical traditions, especially Confucianism, have remained vital threads connecting past and present. Where other ancient civilizations vanished or were absorbed, China repeatedly reinvented itself while preserving its heritage. Today, the People's Republic of China stands as both an ancient civilization and a modern superpower, a nation where 4,000 years of cultural legacy coexist with cutting-edge technology and global ambition. It is a civilization that embodies resilience, adaptation, and profound historical consciousness, a living continuum of human experience stretching from Neolithic villages to the digital age. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. See you next time.